Let's go on to commercial real estate, which is a hot subject. And you have 13 million square feet of commercial real estate, and I believe 3,500 residential units. What's going to happen when these loans come due 3% to 8% and you want to refinance? What's going to happen?
Well, for people who financed 80% of the value, they're going to have problems. But it's not as widespread as you read in the paper. And a lot of people like us financed much lower percentage. And while it's going to cut down on our cash flow, it's not the end of the world for us.
But the average developer, it can be.
Not even, well, for not the average developer, but the person who overfinanced the building at low rates, and I don't know what the percentage is, but I doubt it's more than 20%, are going to see problems.
And are you converting any of your buildings?
We look very carefully at conversions for our buildings, and for our buildings, it just doesn't work. For older buildings, it can possibly work, but there are a lot of issues, landmarking issues, and zoning issues, and multiple dwelling law issues that they're talking about addressing, but those all have to be addressed before it works. It works downtown where they did address most of those issues years ago, but for the rest of the city, there are law changes that need to be made by both the state and the city for it to work.
So are you in favor, even if it's not your own building, of converting these to residential or schools? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think they all have to be converted, but what I think is more likely is that many of them are going to end up with different ownership at reasonable costs so that they can improve the buildings, and they'll be re-tenanted down the road.
Are you building anywhere outside of New York right now?
We invested heavily in Philadelphia prior to the pandemic. Unfortunately, Philadelphia did not recover as well as New York did, and we've had to put those projects on hold.
What about the Sun Belt, like a lot of people are going to?
No.
Oh, good.
No,
you're a North New Yorker.
Real estate is local. We've learned that over the years, and we know New York, and we're convinced that New York is coming back. It has every time there's been an issue, and it's going to come back again.
That's music to my ears. Let's talk about residential. So you have 3,500 residential units. Everybody says that we need more housing, need more housing. Do you think we need more housing? And where would you put more housing?
There is no question we need more housing, excuse me. Wherever room can be found to build it, there are lots of places that it should be built. In a lot of the boroughs, there's plenty of space to build, but it's been stopped mostly by the city council. But also to build, we need a new 421A, which expired several years ago, and construction of new housing is almost completely stopped.
That was my next question. Would you build without a 421A?
The only place you can build without 421A is Manhattan, and then you're going to be building condos. So you're not going to get rental housing without 421A.
Well, what do you think we have to do to get a new 421A? 'Cause everybody's talking about that. Everybody says it. Everybody agrees we need it.
We need cooperation with the state legislators and the unions who we believe will realize that if they want construction work, there has to be a 421A